They can. Okay. Um, so I guess we can record like some of the parts of me teaching, and then the parts that, if it gets personal, things like that, then we can stop the recording, okay? All right. So, how are you guys feeling? I hope you guys are feeling good. All right. Again, thank y'all for joining. It may be people that come in and out to Zoom. Hopefully we get more people. If not, it's okay. We still here. All right.
We
So
outside.
yes, yes. So welcome to my intro to spirituality class. All right. I always like to start off with some affirmations in the beginning of the class just so that we can, align our energy, and start off feeling good about what we're about to learn. Okay. Um, if you can, if you can't, don't worry about it. If you can repeat after me, if you can't, it's all good. All right. So I'm going to start. So I am beautiful. Okay. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am committed to myself and my healing. I am brave. I am courageous. Okay. So those are some of the affirmations that um, can start. We started with. All right. So what is spirituality, right? So I feel like mad people have different, meanings. And I don't feel like any meaning is wrong, right? Because whatever you resonate with is what you feel, that's what's in your heart, you know. It is, it is some, I wouldn't say it's basic things, but it is some basic guidelines on spirituality, um, which is the things that I'm gonna share with you guys, right? Everybody's journey is individualized, everybody's journey is unique. So, no, in this class, I will not be telling you how your journey is, how it should be. All right. It's just more so of a general understanding of some of the beginning things that kind of happen to people when they're in the beginning of their spiritual journey, right? Because sometimes we have questions and we don't really know, right? So this is why we're here. All right. So moving forward. All right. So some of the signs, we're going to start off with signs that you are woke. All right. So meaning, right? How I say it is meaning that God chose you, right? He woke you up, right? So some of the, I guess some of the, not symptoms, but some of the signs that you're woke is angel numbers. All right. A lot of people have questions about angel numbers. All right. So I want to open that up right now. If you guys have any questions first, starting off with angel numbers. All right. I have some more information here that I could give you guys, but I just want to hear a little bit of, some of your questions that you may have about angel numbers.
Okay, I have a question. What happens when like you see the same number every single day? Like every day, I literally see 310. That's my birthday, by the way.
You see
But
what?
310, which is my birthday, every single day. Sometimes in the middle of the night. Like if I miss it in the afternoon, I literally wake up in the middle of the night and see it on my clock.
Okay. So usually when you see a repeated number, right, is usually a sign that your angels are trying to give you a message. All right. Usually the message that the angels are giving you are messages that, you know, they want you to know at this time. All right. Usually threes represent like communication and creativity. Um, and tens usually represents like endings or like finishing up something, like a completion of like a cycle or completion of something. Just think of the number scale 1 to 10, right? So once you get to 10, it's completed, right? Usually things is from 1 to 10 when they're running through a 1 to 10 scale. So usually that's what that is with the angel numbers. You can always look up online. Google will definitely let you know what angel numbers mean. All right, what the meanings are. Joanne Scribes is a very good resource online to look up angel numbers. All right. Um, yes, Bijan, you said that you see them on license plates. Yeah, you could see angel numbers anywhere. You could see them anywhere. I be seeing them on medicine bottles. Like I see them everywhere. All right. So angel numbers, they you could see it on clocks. You could see it anywhere. All right. Um. So also other numbers that are usually common for some people. This wasn't actually my first number that I saw when I started my awakening, but a lot of people do start to see it first, which is 1111. All right. Usually 11 to me, 1111 is a universal number. I say universal because it can mean so many things to so many different people. Right. So usually 1111 means like, you're awoken, you're enlightened, like it's time, the portal is open for you to start your life and start your awakening and, get on the journey with God, stuff like that. All right. So usually how I let people represent, well, not let, but usually how I show people what 1111 means, it's like two doors, right? So if you put those together, it's like a portal. All right. Those ones make like doors. All right. But other signs that you can look out for too, besides angel numbers that can show you that you're woken up, God is showing you like he's ready for you to walk this path, is animals. Yo, if y'all see animals all the time, that could be a sign too. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, anytime like I see like this has been happening to me lately. I've been seeing like crows, and
Okay.
anytime I see crows, like I kid you not, like I want to say like less than a week span, I find out somebody passed away or I found out something bad really happened.
Yeah. Yep. Crows definitely represent like rebirth and birth. It can represent like grief, destruction, stuff like that. Um, but yes, so that you can be connected to that could be a spirit animal for you, or it could just be a sign. God is just giving you those signs to let you know what's coming ahead of you. All right. Music. So like if you ever listen to music and shit, like you hear lyrics and that shit just like a part of the lyrics just seems like it just echoes out more, and you just like, damn, I needed to hear that. All right. So that's also a sign. All right. What people say out their mouth. All right. Sometimes God will talk through people. All right. And you'll be like, damn, how you know that? All right. That's another way. Some other symptoms that can happen is you feel happier, you cry, you cry a lot. Everything just feels different. You just feel happy, but you can also feel like sad, because things are changing. All right. So those are some symptoms, that people could experience when they first start in their awakening. Like I remember one day I literally just started crying because I was just dumb happy. I don't know why. Like, so it's just everybody's different. All right. Any questions with that? Okay. All right. So we're moving on. All right. Next topic, right, is religion versus spirituality. All right. So in college, right, I took religion, and um religion is basically, to me, how I defined it just from learning, right, is that religion was religion is made up, it's a societal thing, right, and it's made up because back in millions of years ago, and back in history, nobody wanted to come together and believe in the same thing. All right. So what everybody did was they split up and they created their own beliefs and their own systems, which is why we have, um, Buddhism, Hinduism, we got all types of shit. All right. But religion, I don't judge religion at all. I would never judge religion. If that's what you feel called to believe in, by all means, you praise that, right? But how I defined it is religion is made and was made based on societal indifferences, not wanting to come together, cultural differences as well. Um, all right. Something that I notice in religion is that they all believe in a higher power. All right. So that's basically the common ground, which is why technically people like religion because it's comfortable, right? It's grouped. So it makes people feel like accepted and it brings people together, things like that. All right. But for me, spirituality is what you feel connected to. It's your true beliefs. All right. Your soul's feeling. Spirituality is being one with God or whoever you believe in and understand you are too a spiritual being. All right. So that's how I define spirituality. All right. Any questions on religion and spirituality? Like with that, I would love to answer some more questions on that.
Do you feel like there's like heavy similarities? Because I've always felt like I always felt like it was very, very similar. But I feel like
Mhm.
with religion, it's like someone didn't accept spirituality as a whole because they probably looked at it as like witchcraft or something. Took some of the beliefs out of it,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
like kind of made their religion out of it. Because like when I look into religion, like I'm just like, like like I see like very like similar, like see similarities and stuff like that. So like,
Right.
do you feel like it's like similar?
I feel like the aspect as in we all believe in a higher power, yes. But do I think it has its differences because me as a growing up as a Christian, right? My family growing up as a Christian, they went to church. The church have certain beliefs, but those beliefs as I grew, I don't connect with those beliefs because I believe my personal view is I believe you shouldn't be binded to any rules. Like, it's no rules on, how to show up, right? To praise God or praise whoever
Right.
you believe in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like religion sometimes and the places that hold services such as churches and things like that, sometimes, I think that the intention of the churches, right, and the intention of to bring people together through religion was genuine. But I think
Right.
sometimes, you know, um, sometimes they have rules and regulations, that I personally don't really believe in, that I feel like is what makes it different, right? Is to follow a
Right.
religion. Like, for example, I don't know the exact religion, so I'm not going to say the exact name, but I know one religion is like Confucius, actually, an eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Like, that's his beliefs. Those are those, as I don't know what religion that is. I don't know if that's a religion, but I know it's something like that. You know,
It's
talk
it's
about, things like that. But do I believe in that? No. So I think that's sometimes the difference is the rules and the regulations that come with religion. Like, oh, if you Jewish, you gotta wear skirts and stuff. Like,
yeah.
in some Jewish religions, not all,
Yeah.
some that I've experienced, you have to wear skirts. But that's something that I don't feel like is fair, right? Because I feel like as a spiritual person, you should be able to serve and be who you feel comfortable being
Yeah.
because it's a non-judgment zone, right? So I think that um that's sometimes where the church part comes into, right? Is um I'm gonna be real honest, is sometimes church can be judgmental from what I've experienced. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I felt the same thing as well. Like what I
Mm-hmm.
was saying to you, I mean, I don't really know too much, so I might sound a little ignorant when I say this, but like, for instance, I don't know, one day I just went on Google, I just went on a tangent. So like, like Yamaye, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So like, for instance, like I read on the story of Yamaye, and I don't know, it just reminded me a little bit of like Mary, low-key, because he's
Okay.
like mother and the mother. So I'm like, this seems like not the same, but I was just like, I could kind of see like similarities, kind of like, or like how they could kind of like take it and try to make it like more humanized.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense of what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess, I guess, yeah, but it just depends, it depends, I guess, what people feel called to, you
Yeah,
know, and stuff. So I think, it's just, I'm here to say just like whatever you feel called to, whether it's religion, spirituality, whether it's both, like, I think sometimes, now thinking like, you know, some people say spirit, some people say God, you know,
right.
but it's the same. We all believe in a higher power, which is goes back to the root of religion, is that nobody wanted to like come together to worship and believe in the same thing, so people separated. So of course there's going to be little bits and pieces from each religion that's similar, and that's something I learned too when I started to do religion, and I started learning about different Chinese religions, and Christians, and just different kind of religion. I was like, wow, like they all share similarities, no matter the culture or anything, So I think that was like really interesting. And yes, Bijan, yes, it is. Sometimes the church could be a little bit judgmental, and especially I only can speak for my people, which is Black people, right? Especially if for whoever's gonna see this, it is what it is. I'm keeping it 100, right? It's like, sometimes you walk in a church and a Black person is definitely gonna look at you like, what the fuck you got on? You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
those are the things we want to change, because those are the things that makes people pull away from God. People don't understand that. People feel nervous going into a church. You shouldn't feel like that. You know? Um so yeah. Okay, so she said, Bijan said exactly, that's why I stopped going when I was young. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. But I hope that, anybody out there, finds whatever resonates for them when it comes to that. Right? So something I think that's a big part of spirituality is intuition. All right. I feel like a lot of the decisions and a lot of the things that we have to make is based through our intuition. Now, when you are not woke, right? Meaning people say woke and they take it's real cliche now, but being woke doesn't necessarily mean in being educated. All right. Being woke is more so, to me, is God has opened your eyes, right? Meaning that you have now been you have now been, how can I say this? You have now been um educated or open to walk a spiritual path. You know what I mean? So it's optional. It's always optional. All right. You don't have to necessarily, because God tapped your shoulder and called on you, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to take that route. Right. But if he chose you, then that means, and if you decide to walk down that route, then you have to be prepared to use your intuition. And a lot of the times things is not going to be flat out right there for you. Right. It's more
It's
so
scary.
of, what do you feel? Say that again.
I don't know why, but it's scary. Like just like even
Yeah.
me, like I feel like with like the dreams and like certain things that I see sometimes, I'm just like this.
Yeah. 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 No, I understand, because it is scary, because sometimes it's like going into the unknown. That's what it's about. It's not necessarily saying that's all spirituality is about, but no, it's about really digging deep and trusting who you are, your decisions, and where you stand as an individual at your core. You understand? And it's not for the weak, because some people don't want to get to their core, because it's a lot of work to get to your core. That's one. But also two, it's, you got to face yourself. Sometimes you got to look at yourself and say that you're the fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that's hard. That's hard to do. Even me, as a person that's, is a spiritual person, I don't give a fuck. I still struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's about using your intuition. It's that little voice in your heart, mind, and gut, your natural instinct. All right. The guide to your path and journey. So if you listen to this little voice, right, your life will be so much smoother. You know what I mean? Yes, you know what it is that once you walk down the spiritual path and you start using your intuition, it gets a little harder to set boundaries to the outside world, because people may not always understand why you don't stand for this no more, right? Or why this doesn't resonate with you no more. So it's about actually being stronger on the outside so that you can live truthfully on the inside. You know what I'm saying? So intuition, baby. You use it, you get blessed. You don't, life is harder. I'm telling you. All right. When that voice tell you something ain't right, cut that person off. cut this out. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't fuck with this person. You listen. Unless you want to go through the lesson and for no reason, you don't have to when it's already warning you. All right. All right, we're moving on. Any questions with that? Intuition? Okay. All right. So moving on, spiritual based businesses. All right. I wanted to touch on this, right? Because a lot of people think spiritual free. No, not always. All right. So let me tell you now how this should be done, right? Right. So first of all, you must make sure that you have integrity. Okay. All right. That's the first thing about business. All right. Integrity. I don't care if it's a spiritual based business or it's a business in general. Integrity. All right. Honesty, integrity, truth. All right. Authenticity as much as you can be. Right. When it comes to dealing with people and business. All right. So, first thing with a spiritual business, it has to be heart based. All right. The business has to be heart based, meaning that it has to come from your heart. All right. um what do you feel drawn to? All right, those are the things and the questions that you ask yourself. All right, when you take money, what are you giving free? Like, what are you giving? All right, it's not just about getting money. It's like, do you do free work? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you give things to the community? Do you give things to the public? Like, what do you do to receive? The universe blesses you, which is why people get it confused. They say, oh, it's spiritual, you shouldn't charge. No, that's not true. God gives us all talents and natural born abilities to use on this earth to make money. You understand what I'm saying? Usually, sometimes your purpose and your divine mission could be different, right? But your purpose is never to necessarily have to slave for money. You understand? It's your birthright to gain abundance from the universe by doing what your soul purpose is. All right. And your soul purpose doesn't always have to be spiritual. You understand? You see how people they be all right, they got careers and other bit like others, they do other stuff like they may have a business and stock or economics or whatever they do, teacher, whatever. But they're very wealthy, right? But that's usually because that's their purpose. They're supposed to be doing that. But they're following their spiritual path. You understand? So even if it's not a spiritual business or a spiritual career, it does not mean that it's not a gift and it's not spiritual. And it doesn't mean that you can't get paid by the universe. You understand? So that's something that I want people to understand is that you definitely could get paid for your service to the universe if you move in integrity, if you true to yourself, you true to people, and it's a passion. All right. And then, like I said, it don't have to be spiritual. You don't got to pull no cards to get to get blessed by the universe. No. You know what I'm saying? So just because you're here doesn't mean everybody's a spiritual divine being, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what you do as your purpose is always spiritual, you know? So any questions on that? Okay. People do fashion. And some people, for example, are mass successful at that, right? And that's a part of their purpose. God gave them those gifts to do that in that industry. Remember, every part of the world, it's all different kind of industries. We need people in all industries. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. Not everybody is going to be in a spiritual business, and not everybody's going to have a spiritual career. All right. Okay. Now, moving on. How do you connect with your spiritual gang? All right. I call it gang. All right. Meaning your angel guides. All right. Meaning your ancestors, God, whatever, spirit, whatever. All right. The way you can connect and talk to these people, and I don't mean necessarily, not everybody has the gift of seeing, right, and hearing these beings, but it's other ways that you connect with them. All right, through meditation, prayer, and again, the synchronicities, the signs, the angel numbers. All right, those are ways that they communicate with you. So if you're thinking about something and then you see an angel number, most likely look it up, because whatever you was thinking is either the answer to that thought or it's letting you know something about what you've been thinking. All right. Um, don't usually don't second guess yourself with these signs, because sometimes they could blow your mind and you be like, wait, what the fuck? Am I dead? Is it dead ass? Like, all right. So I keep seeing squirrels, like word to squirrels dead keep pulling up on me and dead just looking at me. And I'm like, bro, like, tired of these damn squirrels, yo. um any questions on how to connect with your guides and stuff?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm in the background doing the most. I'm so sorry. But
I see you. You dead shopping. I see you.
So, what about like ancestor altars? Like, do you feel like that's an effective way? Like, if so, like, do you feel as if like there's a proper way to do so?
First, I want to say, like, what is your reason for wanting a ancestral altar?
Because I feel like once again, I'm like a research person, so after doing like research and stuff, like it's like I feel like when you do it, you give tribute to your ancestors. So for me personally, I feel like whenever I do a reading with anyone, my grandmother always pops up, right? So it's like I feel as if like I'm like giving her the strength by having my ancestral altar to like continue to like watch over me.
Okay. So yes, an altar. Just I think I'm not too familiar with necessarily ancestral altars, but I know about a little bit about altars, right? So I know in your altar, you could set up a little space, put crystals, you put some Florida water in a bowl, could burn some incense if you want. Never put a picture of somebody in your altar that's alive. Never do that. All right. Especially if the intention of the altar is for ancestral. You know what I mean? These are people that's passed over. So you don't want to mix that. So you can put a picture of your grandma. And yeah, you could sit by it, pray, whatever. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could
Those
definitely
like
do
the
that.
burning questions because and then top of that too, like unfortunately, like, I've been for months since it's February. I've been trying to do one, but then like there's always been a little part of me that's been like a little scared
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I still get like creeped out at like okay, like I don't know, like what when I do this, like what is the after effects to it? But then I feel like by me not doing it is like it's kind of like me being unappreciative to like my grandmother, who I feel like is always there for me when shit gets rough, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, but she knows that you're living a human experience. She knows that, you're still connected to her and she's connected to you. And regardless, if she's assigned to you, meaning if she's like a guardian angel or, someone that's watching over you, that's her job. And, so she's fine with that, I think. But yeah, if you want to give some love to her, you could definitely create that little space for her. I have a question. It's another question. Can spiders be a part of spiritual connection? Spiders can definitely be like a spirit animal or like like a spiritual totem. A spiritual animal. They say we all have them. I actually saw spiders a couple of times throughout my journey. I actually saw a black spider one time. It's crazy because I was actually having a conversation with someone at the time, and the person that I was having a conversation with, we were talking about shadows, like shadow work and stuff like that. And a black spider ended up crawling away, like literally came out of nowhere, and a black spider just like crawled like by my bed or some weird shit. And I just was like, oh shit. And I looked up what a black spider was, and it did like said, I think it said something about like shedding old self, something. I can't give y'all the exact definition, so I won't. But you could definitely look it up. Google and YouTube is like the best resource. Like YouTube, I'm telling y'all, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care. I'll give y'all YouTube will give y'all and help y'all gain a whole skill. You know,
I like
YouTube
that.
is the bomb.
And it's so crazy because it's like from the outside looking in, because like, you know, like I watch your page. So like from the outside looking in, I feel like that's very fitting for you because I feel like the path that you're on now is just like trying to find out like I feel like you're trying to discover like this new you or whatever. And like you're trying to discover like more self-love. Like that's what I get from like the outside looking in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely doing that.
Okay, I'm nosy. So
No, it's okay. It's funny because I'm a very private person. Um,
okay.
like I'm open, but I'm like I'm private too. Like, you know, at the same time, it's weird. But like it is what it is. That's exactly the energy I'm in. And I think that I want people to know that because I'm supposed to be an example for people. You know, I've discovered my purpose, you know. Yeah, it gets like a little confusing, and this is advice for anybody and you guys. It's like things get a little confusing sometimes, you know, and blurry, but you always know what you're supposed to do here. It's in your heart, it's in your soul.
Right.
All right.
Not
Yeah. So some spiritual tips I'm gonna give you guys. Oh, actually, before the tips, one more topic is duality. All right, and spirituality, and this is something that I myself, I will tell the world, I do not like change, bro. Like I have a hard time with change. All right, but within spirituality, duality, and change is such a big part of it because you shift and you elevate and you sometimes tumble and things change and people change in your space, right? But you must remain, you have to understand the flow of the universe, and sometimes things are out of your control, but you have to have faith and believe. All right, but there's good and there's bad. All right, and spirituality. Now, something that I'm gonna say is, as a person of choice, you have a choice. All right, people have choice. So just because somebody's spiritual doesn't always mean that they choosing the light. You understand what I'm saying? So it's spiritual people out here that is spiritual, but they're not using their gifts in the light. You know what I'm saying? They're using their gifts and they're choosing the dark route, which we don't judge those people. We don't judge nobody, right? Because we have choice. And without dark, there wouldn't be light. So light workers need the dark, right? So that light workers can shine their lights and help the world, right? It's necessarily not about bringing, like we sometimes say, we wish the world could be perfect, but the world will never be perfect. The world is about balance. All right. So it's about, like I said, duality, the yin and the yang. All right. So, any questions? Yes. Yes, Bijan. Because, sometimes like it's not all about, yeah, good. I'm happy. I'm really am happy. Yeah, duality. All right. We all have a choice. So that's something that I want people to. Now, some spiritual tips. My biggest tip I'm gonna leave with you guys tonight is find what's true to you. All right. That's what I think I love so much about spirituality, because it's so individualized. It's so unique. Like you can't tell me like this doesn't resonate with me. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that this is not my way. You know, we all have our own paths and our own journey. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, excuse me, regardless of what things look like or how things are, you remain on your path. You remain, true to your journey, and pray. Always pray. Always give thanks. Always give gratitude. Those are tips. All right. So I'm actually gonna write these down for myself. These are bonuses. So always give gratitude, especially when you're in a dark space. All right. But I want to say this was great. I love teaching this class. Like, I hope to have like maybe a part 2 of it or something like that. I want to teach like more classes eventually. Um, I definitely want to teach more classes eventually. Um, and I hope that, you know, that happens. Um, and if there's any more questions, Bijan, I see Shauna left. I saw her phone messing up, so that could be why. So Bijan, if you have any ending questions, please tell me. Like, did you learn anything? Like, what did you learn? I would love that to hear that for some feedback.
Connection is bad. I'm not sure if it's mine.
Oh, Shauna, you here?
I guess yeah, it can go on, but I think I heard like what you said. Like you said that you want to like know if basically like what was learned or like our opinions.
Right. Yes, definitely.
Right.
I would definitely love to hear that.
Let me see. I guess for me personally, I would say like I definitely became more open, and then what I learned more about like the spiritual like animals, like because
Okay. Shauna's having problems with her oh, okay, no, it's not. It says that she leaves and then she doesn't leave. So I don't know why it's doing that.
yeah, like spiritual animals, I would say I learned a lot about that.
Okay.
I thought it was like bugging out.
No, you're not bugging out. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yes. I'm happy Bijan duality. Duality is actually one of my favorite things to talk about. One of my favorite things to talk about because I fake like the dark stuff too. Like, no lie. It doesn't mean that that's who I am, but it's like it's good to learn about both parts because you can't walk around naive, right? We have to educate ourselves on what's really out there, and we have to be open and be reluctant to you know um information, right? Whether it's good information, whether it's bad information. Sometimes we have to be able to interpret information and be able to figure out what side we feel comfortable with following. Right. But yeah, so I want to say thank y'all for joining. Um, I appreciate y'all coming on here. Like, I didn't think nobody was gonna come on tonight, but y'all did, and y'all came. And I really enjoyed teaching and spreading love and giving y'all some advice on spirituality and stuff. So I hope to see y'all soon, and I hope y'all sign up for my next classes. And yeah, I hope y'all have a great night. Bye, y'all.